Not me all ready to go to the city of Johannesburg at Bears No Deer, where the march was going to start because I wanted to be part of this historical day. I really, really wanted to be part of it, but I forgot that the area I live, most Uber drivers and Bolt drivers are foreign nationals. But then in my head, I'm like, but if you are foreign national and you're driving Uber or Bolt, shouldn't you be legally in South Africa? So now why am I struggling to get an Uber or a Bolt to Bears No Deer? So I just kept waiting and I kept requesting. I'll be rejected. I'll be rejected. Sometimes I think I got it, but then I guess the person saw the address that or my destination where I'm going to, then they will cancel me. It was frustrating. I'm telling you, from 8 a.m. all the way to 11 a.m. I was going through the same. Every time when I think I got it, there was even one that actually got to my address. And then I walk in and I'm like, oh, thank you so much. Oh my God. I've been trying to request to Joburg. And it's like, where you going to Joburg? And I'm like, I'm going to Bears No Deer. The shock on their face. And I was like, I knew what was going to happen. He's like, oh no, he gave me an excuse about how Ubers are not allowed in Joburg because of the violence with taxi drivers. He's so sorry he did not see. Hey, hey, hey. And I'm like, okay, can you take me at least as far closer as you can? Maybe take me to Rosebank and then I will take a Gautrain to the city of Johannesburg. And then I'll just walk to the Library Gardens or Bears No Deer as it's called. They refuse. They refuse. He was telling me about roadblocks and all. I was like, what? He's like, there are police everywhere. So then I had to decide, do I foster or I just, stay home, observe everything that is going on. And I'm glad that I did ended up checking out what's going on because we are international, y'all. I mean, South Africa will be international anyways, but it's the lies that I'm waiting for. I'm waiting for the propaganda, Sky News. I'm waiting for, well, Al Jazeera for me has always been the credible one. They don't lie on anybody. So I was just changing channels between CNN, BBC, Al Jazeera, Sky, you name it. I was checking out what are they saying. I think for Sky News, our protest is quite boring. I mean, it makes sense why the previous time when March and March started like in big numbers in KwaZulu, in Durban, to be specific, the journalists lied that the protest was violent and there was even I think she wanted to say hand grenade, but she said tear gas was thrown by one of the members of the crowd, and she was bending and and yet the protest was very peaceful. She was not challenged about it because we're focusing on many things at that time. Even right now as well, you can tell that Sky News wants action. Sky News wants to see smoke, wants to see cars burning, wants to see people getting unalived. They want to see Belfast, but in an African perspective, because they are so desperate to call us names: barbaric, uncivilized, hooligans, all that stuff. They just cannot wait. But so far, so good. So far, so good. South Africans have kept to their word. And the police and instigators that probably were bought, part of the 600 million rand to cause chaos, they don't have a chance. We saw even in Durban, the march got divided into two. The main march remained behind, and while a small group of people who thought the march was already moving, in my opinion, and so it became almost chaotic, but they were not touching anybody, any property. It's just that a small crowd got carried away. I guess at that point there was no much leadership, because if there's no leadership that is leading the march, you will find a situation where people are either confused or they're not sure what to do. So I was looking forward to a march from Bears No Deer to Constitution Hill. Why do people always say Constitutional Hill? It's Constitution Hill. Constitutional Court is at the Constitution Hill. Yeah, by Hillbrow. Actually, next door to Hillbrow. Because once you cross that, I forgot what that road called. Now you are in Bram Park. And then that's where you find the Constitutional Court by Constitution Hill. So I was looking forward to that, but Ubers and Bolts, Batibona Abezi, and which of course proves the point about why South Africans are marching. South Africans are marching because that means we have to suffer, because our Uber drivers and Bolts, they are undocumented aliens. What if we have emergencies? What if we wanted to go somewhere? So I asked the last guy, up until when you guys are not going to be working? They said, well, as long as this thing is on, I guess. Yeah. The joys of not liking having a car. This is what you get as well. But anyways, guys, I am so impressed with South Africans. Well done to us all. And I have been reading the comments on my previous video. I think some of y'all have caught that I got scared. I don't want to lie. I never lied even in that video that I'm terrified. I really am. Whether that gentleman was scaring me, he was, I mean, he what's the word I'm looking for? He succeeded. That's what I'm looking for. If he was scaring me, he succeeded. But at the same time, we must not be foolish and say, oh, he's just scaring you. There's nothing of that nature that's going to happen, and then boom, something happens. We need to be cautioned. We have to be cautionary, and so that we don't find ourselves regretting things that were preventable. Please, I haven't gotten any report that there's looting, breaking into people's stores, and things of that nature. I even saw some illegal foreigners taking refuge, which I'm trying to understand. Why did you decide to stay? Now they're taking refuge in police stations because it's the 30th today, and they're afraid. And I'm like, but you had 3 months. In fact, not even 3 months, you had 6 months since the day of the 30th of June came out. And somebody as well in the comments was saying, oh, this thing, we've seen this before. And I keep telling y'all, it's not the same anymore. South Africans don't want illegal foreigners no more. No more. There were some community leaders as well that were spoken to. Some were being diplomatic, and I understand they need to be diplomatic about this. Like, hey, these people up and left on their own accord. We did not say anything. And if this whole thing comes to an end, if they want to come back, well, they can come back. I saw one of the community members saying, I'm sorry, what? No, we don't want them here unless you want us to change you. And then the leader was like, people just they don't want illegal foreigners in their communities anymore. They don't want them no more. That is why it's important for government to speed up this white paper thing. They really need to speed it up and then start creating those camps by the border. Because South Africans are saying no more in our communities. No more. And it was also quite interesting to see in Cape Town a march that was conducted by what looked like to me, it did not look like white South Africans, those ones. Those were Italians. Those to me looked like Greeks. They looked like British. They looked somewhere coming in from Europe. And we understand what's going on in Cape Town, right? In Cape Town, you'll find private properties being bought by Italians, bought by British people, bought by the Europeans, basically, and they turn those homes or those properties into Airbnbs, motels, hotels, and hostels. So, who is cleaning there? Who is cooking the meals? Who is running errands? Who's driving the guests from the airport to these establishments and back to the airport when they've done their tourism? Also, others are owning vehicles that they've put on Uber and Bolt, and also as tour guides. Can you imagine an entire illegal foreigner is a tour guide in South Africa? As a tour guide in South Africa, you need to understand South Africa, its history, people, food, and also locations where you know for sure that tourists that are coming from overseas will enjoy. And we've seen this time and time again when, say, an American just came back from South Africa, and then they start telling us or share what they learned. And you can tell that they're in a Uber or they are in a tourist car, and the driver is teaching them South African history. But the history is not South African history, though. You were like, obviously, South Africans will go into the comment section like, nah, that was not our history you were told. Not even near. This person either was making up stories, or, I mean, sometimes they don't even know the whole purpose of Robben Island and what Nelson Mandela was doing in Robben Island and how long Nelson Mandela was in Robben Island. Why? Because the whites or the Europeans, I'm not talking about South African white people, these were Europeans. They just hire an illegal foreigner, and then the illegal foreigner is released or unleashed to misrepresent us and disinform our guests. Our guests. So when now they realize, and also many of them are restaurant owners. You go to Cape Town, the restaurants. No, you're not gonna find a South African serving you in those restaurants unless the South African is a white South African. The rest are black and illegal foreigners. So now that they're realizing that, their exploitation, now they're going to have to pay minimum wage because that's what South Africans come with. You are not going to employ a South African and ignore minimum wage. You're not going to do that. You can't even negotiate it. You cannot even negotiate it. Not only do we come with minimum wage, but we also come with labor rights. This is when, for the first time going forward, after all the illegal foreigners that have been occupying these jobs at hotels, Airbnbs, and all that stuff, we're going to start dusting off the Labor Relation Act. Remember it? Remember the labor relation? Yeah, well, it's dusty. This is what we're going to be doing to it. And look at it and start paging through and say, you restaurant owner? So these are the things that are expected of you when South Africans start work. Either you close your restaurant and go back to Italy, cool. Or you close your Airbnb and sell off the property to somebody else. Hey, Cape Townians right now, white Cape Townians, they are desperate that you sell it back to them so that prices can come down and everybody can afford Cape Town like how they used to before. And then the middle class black will leave us alone about why are you only targeting black people, black on black violence. Oh, what's going on in Cape Town? In Cape Town. And you're like, what are you doing about Cape Town? We don't go there. We don't go there. It's your hanging out spot. And if you cannot afford your hanging out spot no more because of digital nomads and everyone else that goes there and their prices are high, why is that our problem? Why is that? We don't go to Cape Town. We will fight for our own local and ish that is happening in our local. We're not going to be leaving our problems and go sort your middle class problem. It's just that you guys, your noses are stuck up so much up there in the Eiffel Tower, not the Ivory Tower, so much so that now you think you're superior over the poor people of this country and you order them around because you want to discourage them from fighting what is theirs. Now, I know some Africans, whenever we talk about illegal immigration, they reduce it down to employment. Employment is just part of it. It's just that we are tired of losing our children. We are tired of losing our girls to prostitution and also human trafficking. We are done with so many evils that some of these illegal foreigners come with, particularly Nigerians. You guys are evil. Again, not all Nigerians, but they know who they are. And we're beginning to see also what other Nigerians are saying, the type of Nigerian that is doing that kind of evil in South Africa. And it's evident now. Yeah, Igbo people. It's evident. You guys are heartless. You have no heart. You have no heart. Not all of you, though, because we still have Nigerians such as Ace 22. We still have Henry Talks. We still have really, really good Nigerians. Nigerians that I wish they were not Nigerians. Lily Ogini, I know she's not an Igbo girl, but that's my girl. That's my girl. You know, those are the people that we appreciate and love because they have no time obsessing over South Africa. And even if they do speak about South Africa, they balance things out. You know, they're objective. So we are done. We are done. And I think we will continue to correct propaganda because, those Nigerians, as we speak, they tumble over. Some of them, they're probably recovering from tripping over their tripods because of the protests that are going on in South Africa. They cannot wait to propagate. They'll be creating AI videos about, look who they're burning and look at what they're burning. They are stealing people. It's a lie. You are lying. You are lying. And to the Ghanaians that want to come back, sorry. You made your bed, lie on it. Anyways, guys, I thought let me come here. I couldn't make it. No Uber, no Bolt. And I need to go somewhere a little later. In fact, immediately after this, I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't know. And I hate bothering people. I hate bothering people and their vehicles. I do. Even though I know I'm going to pay petrol, but I still go to, what does it want? And I never ask. But I imagine they're saying that. Anyways, I don't know. We'll see how we do this. But congratulations, South Africa. You stood your ground. You stood your ground. And that's exactly what we want in this country going forward. This government now knows that you do not mess with South Africans. You do not ignore South Africans. I also saw people questioning me about Ngizwe Mchunu and Phakile Mthakathi meeting Ramaphosa. They were thinking, isn't that some sort of a strategy on Ramaphosa's side? Yes, it is a strategy on Ramaphosa's side, but sometimes being a leader, you need to go meet up the problem. You have to face the problem so that you are able to tell it, listen, you did this. You must always remember that you did this. And if you are not going to stop, we will continue. Sometimes you need to face your bully like this. So I have no issues with Phakile Mthakathi meeting the president because I know Phakile Mthakathi umtshele ezikabhoko. And that is what we want. And now the president, in his head, he knows that if I do not do what these people have said, then I'm in trouble. Some people are thinking, they were going to be neutralized. I was like, I don't think so. It's going to be way too obvious that Phakile Mthakathi have been neutralized because we can tell when somebody has been neutralized. And I don't think they will want to jeopardize that. For Phakile Mthakathi is not just about marching and illegal foreigners, but it's but it's also about what they do. It's also about what they do, and they want to do that with South Africans. I mean, I don't know if you guys know that Phakile Mthakathi and a whole host of young men in KwaZulu-Natal, they've got farms. And in their farms, they have no more or less than 400 cows each. So there's a business that's also being run. Not that they're using this for their business, but they want to make sure that people or whatever people want to start, they know that there's no illegal foreigner involved or a foreigner for that matter, but it's purely South Africans. So Umtsizwa noMtsizwa, it's teaching young, well, that's far is young Zulu boys, so that they stay away from GBVs, from drugs, from alcohol, and be men that are upstanding in society. Release them when a right age, because they learn everything. But like, hey, I mean, ooh, Nkosi yami, I did it because it was under duress. In a Zulu boy, when he reaches a certain age, we are uyahambiswa komalume for like a year. And mufika there, uyokhathwa. You have to live. You live in the not exactly emaplazini, but emakhaya. Ulusa inkomo. You go, yeah, 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 yeah. It was a lot. I was traumatized by that year. We just came back from Swaziland. Imagine coming from Swaziland, which is already 100% rural, and you were not just there. You will wake up in the morning, you open the window, and you meet the face of a cow going moo. You're like, hold up. You go and you wash your clothes, you hang them in the line, and the cows come and eat your clothes. I've been through that. And then I'm told, no, if you go malume, you know what is going to be happening there. So I digress, but I'm just saying that there are no Malum. Just before I go, I don't know if you watch skits, Zulu skits, where the actor is a mother and also a child, and then maybe the child did something, and then the mom would do like a hyperbole. It's ihaba. Ati booty, where booty? Yeah, that booty, it's because the child has been to the yeah, exactly. That booty is the one that comes and discipline you. Yeah, yeah, oh, we've been through all of that. Oh, booty. And you are holding your mom's skirt, you are begging her to stop calling him. Oh, booty. Nangu, shaya. And you didn't even do that. You didn't even do that. And you're like, I am screwed. Because when your uncle walks through those doors, he doesn't knock. Ngena nemnyango. Anyways, that's Pagalum Tagati basically in a nutshell. So I don't have an issue with him meeting the president. I think it was an opportunity that presented itself as leaders of these marches. Ukuthi, hendoda yenza umsebenzi wakho. If you do your job, we will leave you alone. If you are not going to leave us alone, this will continue. You need to be assertive when you look at. So you need to look at it that way. Sometimes, yes, to win is not to fight. Right. Anyways, I will leave this video right here because the kids outside are making the noise. School holidays. Anyways, I'll see you later. Goodbye.